Twitch is your sidecar, not your future. This is a double parody, so to speak. There was a controversial thread on Reddit a while back called Twitch is your hobby, not your future. That was making fun of the whole Twitch grinding thing, this silly idea that people can grind from 0 to hero on Twitch, when even the big names on Twitch didn't do that. But every so often, before and since, you'll see people out there encouraging the bad habit of Twitch grinding. Oh yeah, keep grinding! That's not the way it works. It's not the way life works either. Not the way these social media platforms and their technology work either. And I'm far from the only person who will tell you that. But with recent developments on Twitch specifically, Team Purple has played their hand. They've acknowledged their place in the Red versus Purple showdown. And they've cemented that Twitch should be your sidecar. At the most. The other parody in this title is Harris Heller talking about YouTube streaming being a sidecar. Nothing too exciting. But I very much believe and have made the decision that my Twitch involvement is exclusively game streaming, podcasty streaming, or otherwise. My Twitch involvement is exclusively an extension to my YouTube involvement. It will never be the main thing. Not interested in Twitch partnership, and even Twitch affiliate looks kind of iffy. So, Twitch is your sidecar, not your future. There are two things that have influenced my decision here. One of them is from a commentator who does live at fives related to Twitch and streaming and probably other related topics as well. Zach Bussey. Based out of, I believe, Toronto, Canada. He did a video recently, Stream Advice Twitch is only telling their partners. Apparently there was recently there was some partner guidance, and YouTube does this too, but not via stuff that gets sent out, not via slide decks or anything. But there were some things that Twitch sent out to partners specifically regarding how to do better as partners or what have you. One of the things in that slide deck that Zach eventually got a hold of and talked about on his show is that Twitch officially, finally, I should say, Twitch officially encouraged partners to make YouTube videos for discoverability and marketing purposes. There you go. Discussion's over. It's all over, ladies and gentlemen. It's all over. That's Twitch acknowledging their place in the food chain, so to speak. And in an enthusiast specialty platform focusing on gaming, trying to expand outside of gaming, but having some fundamental issues like the category system and other stuff that will hold back and get in the way of any attempts to turn Twitch into purple YouTube. There was recently something that was published where Amazon was talking about making Twitch compete more with YouTube and Facebook, but that was mostly on an advertising front, not necessarily with the way everything works. To this day, as I record this right now, I can still very much believe that Twitch is more like Dailymotion than YouTube. And trying to make Twitch into purple YouTube would take a lot of work, and that kind of work is not the kind of work that I really think that everybody involved can handle right now. They probably want to do it, but it's just so bewildering. I don't know if even Amazon could figure out how to make that happen. So, you have this event where Twitch has officially told Twitch streamers to make YouTube videos for discoverability. Game over on that front. And that also gets me wondering about some of these Team Purple talking heads. How many of these commentators out there are just repackaging Twitch partner guidance now that I know that this is the thing? So, the partner guidance slide decks that go out every so often, repackage them into videos about how to grow your stream. I seriously have to wonder about that now. Yes, this is not news if you follow my YouTube channel. I posted this on my community page several days ago. But there you go. I have to wonder about that now. Are some of these Team Purple commentators just repackaging guidance that they were already receiving as Twitch partners because they're all partnered? So I'm not displaying that on stream, because I don't know if that's something that Zach should not have shown on stream. So I will just say that I did see that in the slide deck, and you can watch his YouTube video. Stream advice Twitch is only telling their partners in order to see this for yourself. But it's in there. Twitch officially playing their hand and acknowledging their place in the hierarchy versus YouTube. Team Red Ascendant, baby. But it's all because one's Google and one isn't. One's a nerd company that was been doing search engines for decades, and one's a subsidiary of Amazon. So one has access to Google technology. The only way for Twitch to get this is for Google to license it. And would they want to license something to a YouTube competitor? Who knows? We also know, of course, that YouTube is very aggressively trying to pursue feature parity with Twitch. Here's my own channel and the recent changes. The side menu on the right is gone because channels I like is now at the bottom. Here it is. You can scroll over. This doesn't auto shuffle like it previously did. I don't know if that's a feature coming through, but I think YouTube should do two things with this feature. Number one, they should auto shuffle everything so that all the channels I have in this list are displayed randomly. And anybody who goes live should go temporarily to the top of the list. So have live channels fill the slots along the bottom, just like this thing's equivalent over on Twitch. So, latest change, very similar to so-and-so recommends these streamers over on Twitch's new UI. I'm curious if YouTube's teams are going to try and punch this up a bit by letting live channels come to the top like currently happens over on Twitch. But there you go. That's one thing that's been going on. Twitch has played their hand when it comes to the way that things work versus YouTube. The other example is from the very thing that took the wind out of my sails last time we talked about it, and that is this thing. The updated guidance on suspension evasion. And this is the bigger reason why you shouldn't be as worried about Twitch and why you should experiment more with YouTube. Because of the way Twitch is versus YouTube, with policies like this that put their own people on the hook for what other people do or potentially stuff beyond their control. Suspension evasion. It is prohibited, the new guidance, by the way, in response to questions about banned streamers in tournaments and stuff like that. It is prohibited to use your channel to knowingly feature or advertise a suspended user. We understand that there may be instances where suspended users may appear on your stream due to circumstances beyond your control, such as through third-party gaming tournaments. But we expect that you make a good faith effort to remove them from your broadcast, mute them, or otherwise limit their interactions with your stream. This is the thing that I believe goes too far. Can't zoom it any further without the purple taking over everything. This is where I think things go too far. Right there. So, I've been involved in some stuffy groups, mostly religious groups, where if you ever left the group, people would actually tell each other in the group you left to blow you off and not have anything to do with you. You basically got canceled if you ever left, as we now understand it with cancel culture. This takes it a step too far. And the reason why I have this open is let's compare this to YouTube. Here's YouTube's policy on account terminations. Notice the language stopping at you, suspended creator, cannot create other YouTube channels. There is no imperative thrust on other users of the YouTube platform. If your channel or account is terminated, you may be unable to use own. They don't even say you're prohibited from it here. I have known some people that have gotten banned off of YouTube that made completely different channels that weren't as problematic and were successful. So I know the enforcement depends on a lot of issues and the context. You may be unable to use, own, or create other YouTube channels accounts. When a channel is terminated, the channel owner gets an email explaining the reason for the termination. And they got community guidelines, things along those lines, what to do about DMCA, etc. But what's important here is what's not discussed. This is the suspensions and terminations policy. YouTube does not go as far as telling its users to act like people who are no longer on the platform do not exist. This stuffiness is specific to Twitch, just like the stuffiness over exclusivity. We expect you to make a good faith effort to remove them from your broadcast, mute them, or otherwise limit their interactions with your stream. This is what goes too far. This is the same kind of behavior as if you ever leave our little clique, we're gonna blow you off and act like you never existed. Which I've seen before. This is not professional, and it is unfortunately the sort of thing that Twitch is known for versus other platforms and companies out there. This right here, alongside the inferior discoverability technology, the less robust algorithms, the site design issues that discourage you by design from finding new people to watch in favor of only watching a few people here and there. The elitism baked into the platform. The widening gulf between the haves and the have-nots on the platforms. All of this adds up to Twitch should never be your main focus as a content creator, even if you're successful right now, because policies have unintended consequences. This is where we have to talk about this whole thing where if I ever screw up badly enough on Twitch, I may have friends who are forcibly told to blow me off because I've been banned from Twitch. Why doesn't something like this scare people away from something like partnership? That's a contract, or maybe even affiliate for that matter. That's a contract, although I don't think Twitch would care about something like what happened with Doc, with somebody who's a tiny affiliate with like 10 concurrents. So, why? I hear a lot of people talk about the lack of business sense in the streaming community, and this is hard evidence of that. Something like this should make people want to leave the platform. YouTube should balloon as a streaming platform because of language like this in the user agreement over on Team Purple land. This should scare people. The fact that this platform will tell you you need to kick them off your show if, say, you end up in a tournament or or some kind of like voice comms, like you're playing Warzone and a banned user is on voice comm. This is over here. This is something we see here. It is not something that we see here. YouTube does have a policy, though, that says, look, you can't be making new YouTube accounts if you get shut down. But even the scope of that is exclusively the affected user, not somebody else who may end up on voice comms with the affected user, or something else of that matter. But partners being told through this language to blow off banned users and act like they don't exist, or kick them off your stream, this is a step too far. So why would you want to risk being in the crosshairs of something like this and having people you can't play with just to be a Twitch partner? Really get you rethinking all of this if you think about it. Twitch should be bleeding talent with stuff like this. If they aren't, it's just evidence that people don't look at stuff like this or the various effects. As somebody streaming a video game recreationally, or even as semi-serious want to grow my stream, I don't want to have to worry about this. I don't want to have to worry about a letter from Trust and Safety or whoever saying that person number 8 in my Among Us game was a banned user, and I have just platformed somebody who'd been suspended from the platform, and now I'm receiving disciplinary action because of that, because maybe I didn't even know that they were suspended in the first place. I just got matched up with them. We expect you to make a good faith effort to remove them from your broadcast. Look, they're already off the platform. You know, if they go into some tirade against Twitch, I would mute them, like, oh, Twitch banned me, blah, 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 blah. I would mute them, probably kick them out of the game for being toxic. But this kind of attitude towards your own talent base, not even the people watching, the creators themselves. This is the kind of dumping on your creators that puts YouTube to shame. I've known YouTube over the years for having issues where they dump too much responsibility on creators versus what the leadership can do as a platform. But this dwarfs all of that. And it lines up with antagonistic, toxic groups of people that I've dealt with before. With the whole thing of, you gotta act like they never existed or whatever. This goes too far. And this, combined with the platform admitting, by telling its partners to make YouTube videos for discoverability purposes, even as they lock them down for streaming and stuff like that. All of this added together says, in no uncertain terms, that even if you're a successful streamer on Twitch with a full-time following, tons of donos and subs, Twitch primes all over the place, you need to be thinking about the world beyond purple. You need to be thinking about what's going on everywhere else. And find a way to not get caught on the wrong side of it if the pendulum shifts because of stuff like this. This is crazy. Again, the Twitch Bowl effect. If you're a successful Twitch partner, you should be thinking about stuff like this, and you should care about stuff like this. It's amazing how many people get fishbowled by Twitch, as if YouTube isn't something just as viable. There are only a couple of things on YouTube that are keeping YouTube from being more viable to becoming a full-time content creator than Twitch. And a lot of it has to do with monetization. And I can tell you that in terms of the subsystem and stuff like that, my channel has been approved for memberships over on YouTube. So I can build up some kind of monthly contribution directly through the platform instead of having to rely on Patreon. As opposed to Twitch, where you get no discoverability and you can stream for 6 months and not even become an affiliate, like me. But that's because people think of Twitch as something way more than what it is. They don't realize just how niche Twitch really is. And they don't realize how Twitch can be unprofessional, too focused on the personal side of things, taking things personally instead of as a business. And of course, the algorithm technology and the site design issues. We can check it out right now, even if I really wanted to. Go over to my Twitch main page and look at how it's recommending channels I'm already following instead of splitting off new creators that the system thinks I might like with people I'm already following or sub to. Been talking about that for a long time. When's that getting addressed? Not that hard of a UI thing. Just make new categories. But all of this combined together, the whole package, as it were, all of this combined together says in no uncertain terms that if you want to get into online media, Twitch should be secondary to YouTube, and you should focus on YouTube first, then Twitch. And only give Twitch what is more worth it to give on Twitch than YouTube. In my case, it's shows like this and game streams where I don't mind if the content expires if I don't make a highlight of it. For literally everything else, YouTube is better. Even streaming, where I make like stream assets and stuff. That's the live stream counterpart to the tech videos that I make, where I'm doing videos of myself around the house, tinkering with technology and other stuff like that. So, as much as you may have seen this plug screen, and as much as I may have been tempted to update it because of behind the scenes streaming, I think in most cases, behind the scenes streaming is better off done on YouTube. It fits better over there. And it fits better with YouTube's streaming thing, where every VOD, as it's called over here on Twitch, turns into a YouTube video after the fact. So, I think I've made my point. Twitch is your sidecar, not your future. Quite frankly, Twitch versus YouTube is a fascinating thing to follow. But even still, and I'm saying this with It's the end of September now, right? 26th of September. It's not going to be that long before the Q3 numbers come out for Streamlabs and Stream Hatchet. I'm very curious what they are. And we also know that YouTube is aggressively pursuing feature parity with Twitch, and the UI differences between YouTube and Twitch are being dealt with. But if YouTube makes the changes of some of the other things, Twitch will be in even more trouble. And if you look at what Twitch is advertising, you can see where they're putting their eggs in the basket. They're focusing on large partners, gaming, and other stuff to try and get people to watch Among Us and other popular games. Makes me wonder just what tenacity mode with Twitch is going to look like when they're being defensive versus their far larger, more general purpose competitor getting their act together. And that, as they say, is that with that about that. Social medias, youtube.com/MultimediaJay, twitter.com/MultimediaJay, twitch.tv/MultimediaJay, and multimediajay.wordpress.com. There's a lot going on right now, so I'm probably going to be focusing largely on the ESO Antiquities event and YouTube videos, while the Ginny and her friends in EU and Yugi and her friends in Korea is still as interesting as it is to someone like me who not only likes making stuff multimedia-wise, but watching stuff multimedia-wise as well. Till next time, this is Multimedia Jay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.
MultimediaJay Radio Style.